I am Iron Man.
Hello there.
Avengers!
All right, welcome to another episode of Stars and Marvel. Yeah, today we're just kind of chatting. We got Daredevil breaking down Daredevil, Superman, talking a little bit whatchamacallit, Captain America: Brave New World. So
Yeah. Good job. It's had two titles. You got it.
yeah.
I'm just kind of pumped. I know Daredevil trailer. I don't remember where it dropped at this point, but I very specifically was very excited after seeing this trailer because I know a lot of speculation or a lot of like concern regarding Daredevil joining Disney Plus, and it's like Daredevil on Netflix was one of the most like R-rated things that was ever released.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this trailer came out, and I was like, "Oh, damn! Like, okay,
They're not holding back. Yeah,
yeah, we're good. We're good."
that's I saw that and I was like, oh wow, they're going. But I mean, I guess they went balls to the wall with Deadpool and Wolverine, so I feel like they could do that
Yes,
well.
yes, but two things for that. Deadpool and Wolverine has the Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman names on it, and like
True.
they trusted, I think, those two more than anything else. But additionally, that was also a theatrical movie. Like this is
It's
direct to
gonna be
Disney
on.
Plus,
Yeah.
and like this almost feels like what Moon Knight from a action standpoint should have been,
Yeah,
but they
yeah,
weren't willing to do that back then. And I'm
yeah. It
curious
was.
if another season of Moon Knight comes out, if they would be willing to go a little further.
I think so. I mean, because the third ego guy seems a little. I forget. I honestly forget his name. I forget the main
I don't
character's
remember
name.
either, but yeah, he was like a hitman, so
Yeah, so I could see that being a little more gritty. But yeah, I mean, this as I can't see them messing this show up. I mean,
it looks so good.
yeah, it looks amazing. I still have not watched the full series run of the Netflix Daredevil, so I am gonna try to watch that before. When does this come out?
It's March something, dude. I'm actually
Okay,
getting like
I thought
I
so.
I wanted to rewatch because I don't remember season 3
March
at all,
4th
and I want to at least watch season 3 again before
before this
this
one.
comes
Yeah,
out. I don't know.
yeah. That Daredevil was one of those shows where I've tried to watch it about 2 or 3 times, and then for some reason I just can't get past the first 2 episodes. I'm like, I don't know. I get bored for some reason. But I think I just got it's like a Game of Thrones thing. I just got to get through those first couple of humps, and then it gets really, really good.
It's so funny you mentioned Game of Thrones. I was watching a new Rockstars video, and they compared Captain America's press release to Game of Thrones season press release,
Oh,
season 7 press release. It was interesting. They were like, "Is this moment that Anthony Mackie talks like is it the same as this moment from Game of Thrones?" Because apparently, whoever I forget, I don't know Game of Thrones, but the white haired dragon lady, like
oh,
she was
yeah.
getting interviewed on a press tour, and they were like, "Did you love the finale?" And she's just like, "Uh-huh."
Yeah. Oh, so they're saying like they're like the Anthony Mackie's like, yeah, it's a great movie, but you can
But
see
that's what there
behind his
was one.
eyes like,
It wasn't like that. It wasn't that he doesn't seem confident in the movie. There was like a specific question, like that they thought like maybe there's something specifically in the movie he doesn't like, or but it was very deep divey. Like you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it could absolutely just be Anthony Mackie fucking with everyone because that's what he does. Like it yeah, it's just one of those like I just thought it was an interesting comparison. And then you bring up the like just
Yeah.
fun stuff.
But no, and for this, I'm glad that I mean, we do you want to watch the trailer?
Sure.
It's been a while, not a
I
while, but
yeah, I haven't watched it since I like texted about it
since
the
it
first
came
time.
out.
So like
Yeah,
even this, I don't remember him knowing Matt Murdock is Daredevil. Like this
yeah,
doesn't surprise me, but I don't remember that. So like that
yeah.
just shows how much I need to like refresh at least.
He is such a good Kingpin.
He's so good. He's such a good actor. Like
Uh-huh.
I also think it's interesting he's become mayor off screen.
Yeah, that they didn't like publicly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
That's
not
like I don't
publicly,
have a
but like
problem with it. I just think that's an interest like feels like a very big thing for them to hint at in a credit scene and then just have it
and then
happen.
just exactly, yeah. I figured
Yeah.
this would be about him running for mayor, you know,
Correct. That's how I same. Absolutely same.
because that was what the end of Echo.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who that is. I feel like I should know who that is.
Yeah.
That's a sweet. I don't know who that is. That's a sweet mask.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew who that was either. Oh, and I
No,
forgot they're bringing him back too.
yeah, Punisher being back is sweet.
Yeah. You think they'll bring back Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist? Oh, who was
Oh,
that guy?
White Tiger. Um, I think
Oh,
Jessica
fuck.
Jones is gonna come back. I don't think the other two come back.
Ah,
Oh.
oh man. Yeah, they're not holding back.
They're not all that his arm going the bro. Oh my
God.
god.
I'm
Uh
surprised they showed that in the trailer.
I
Like,
know, dude. They definitely were trying to be like, this is what to expect.
yeah,
Like, this is how dark this
this
is
is
going to
not going to
be.
be for
And
your kids.
I'm pumped. I'm very excited. I think looks like a great follow up to the Daredevil show.
Yeah,
I mean, as far as the cast goes, we've always liked the cast in the Netflix series. Like, and as far as Luke Cage and Punisher, or Luke Cage and Iron Fist, like I always said, I liked the casting for those two. I just
yeah,
didn't care for
the
their
shows.
shows in
Yeah,
general. They're not great. Um, I feel like I remember reading somewhere that they were gonna recast Danny Rand, who's Iron Fist, as a I forget what I don't know how to say it properly, so I'm just gonna not
like
say it. But
nationality.
yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, I read that they were gonna give him a nationality that was more fit and not just white
some
man
white.
billionaire.
Yeah,
Uh, and then Luke Cage, I just think didn't do well, so like I don't think they care to
yeah, they
keep him
didn't.
back.
Yeah, that
But
makes
Jessica
sense.
Jones did really well on its own.
That
Punisher obviously did well from Daredevil. Daredevil obviously did well. So I think those. Well, the only one in there that we don't know is Jessica Jones.
yeah.
I would be shocked if they do Jessica Jones and don't bring her back.
Was Jessica Jones, was that like a 2 season, 3 season run?
Jessica Jones
I
was
never watched that
three
either.
seasons, and I
Okay.
actually only saw seasons one and two. I never saw season three of Jessica
Okay.
Jones, and I never
And
saw season two of Punisher. Also,
didn't they do a Defender show? They did like a
yes,
team up show. Okay, I thought
yeah.
so. I remember
Technically,
watching
it's
the first
like
one.
for Daredevil continuity, it's Daredevil season one, two, Defenders, then Daredevil season three. And like
Oh, okay.
you kind of like Defenders is very like pivotal in that storyline. Like it'd be like watching Iron Man 3 and not watching Avengers 1.
Okay.
Which just rewatched Avengers 1 last night. That movie just holds up
Holds
so
up.
well every time. Every time.
We just watched during when Ollie had the flu, we rewatched Homecoming, like Spider-Man Homecoming and Far
Yeah.
From Home with him, and I was like, God, these movies are so good.
They're
Like
so good.
they're so good. And we were gonna watch No Way Home, but he was kind of done with Spider-Man. So we're like, all right, we'll watch something. Well, I kind of honestly want to save that for when we watch like the Tobies and then the Andrew Garfield ones, because then that one, like, that makes that one even more,
Yeah.
like,
Like have him
oh
like
my
put that
God,
moment
yeah,
together.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That'd be pretty sweet. And yeah, I'm curious. That's another thing. I know there's been a lot of rumors, nothing official, so there's nothing really to talk about. But Spider-Man 4, I think the only confirmation is that's supposed to release 2027. And so I'm just really curious what they're gonna do with that because originally it was rumored to be a
Is
Daredevil tie-in.
is that
So
post? That's post Secret Wars, right?
it's supposedly gonna be post Doomsday, pre Secret
Se-
Wars.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
kind of similar to Ant-Man 2 when that came out.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I'm curious how that's all going to tie in. They also announced that, well, production announcements or whatever was that Tom Holland is in Doomsday, which no one's talking about this, but like again, as far as we know, Sony and Disney only have an agreement for one more Spider-Man appearance.
And
So if
that,
he's
yeah,
in
ooh, yeah.
Doomsday, that would imply he's not going to be in Secret Wars, which
That would be a big mistake.
I would find that extremely hard to believe. So
Yeah.
I hope they are like flawlessly figuring that out so he's in both of them.
Yeah.
Like,
There
yeah,
would
because
there would be riots if he's
it's
not
I
he's
mean,
because he's a pivotal role in both versions of Secret Wars, right?
yeah, and
Like,
there's yeah, correct, exactly. He's very important in I mean, Miles Morales having a big point in Secret Wars too. Like I could see them doing a I'm not saying a permanent Miles Morales, but maybe more of a like cameo. Like,
yeah,
I just if you only have one more movie, I just find it hard to believe they're gonna assumably use him to his full potential in Doomsday, but like
yeah.
not have him in Secret Wars.
Do you think maybe? I mean, this is complete speculation, and no way would they probably ever do this. But do you think they might kill him off in Doomsday and then replace him with Miles in Secret Wars,
I
and then have
wouldn't
Miles take
hate it.
on that like role?
I would like all honesty would be totally okay with that. Like if
Yeah,
Spider-Man died, like and they replace him with another Spider-Man, but he's still a Spider-Man. So
yeah.
legally Disney just because it's Miles and not like Disney can't
Oh,
use
true.
Miles
It's
either.
yeah, 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 it's true. I didn't even think about that.
It's that like legality bullshit
Just
makes it like
why don't they just give up the character? Like
I know,
nobody
especially
wants
after
Craven.
dude,
Nobody
did you
wants these
see dude
movies.
Craven bombed so badly.
Like have they not gotten the hint after Morbius? Like just stop. Like
Did you see the Sony CEO like he like came out in an interview and he was like, "Yeah, people keep saying they don't like Craven, and I just don't think that's correct." And
like
they're like, "You don't think our opinion of your
it's,
shitty movie is
it's
shitty?"
correct.
Like
Yeah.
what?
God
It
damn. Oh my God.
it was the most like have you ever seen the Simpson meme where it's like, "Am I wrong? No, it's the children who are wrong." Like
Uh-huh.
it was the most that thing ever. Like the Sony CEO being like, "Oh, if it's a good movie, you just
It's
don't
good.
appreciate it."
These
It's
people are
like
just idiots. Yeah.
like
Like
maybe oh my god. I actually so I didn't see Craven. We didn't talk about that, but I did not see Craven. And my mother-in-law actually saw it
oh
and she was telling me she saw it and I was like and she was shocked I didn't
was it
see it.
good?
And
Yeah.
I said, "Was Spider-Man in it?" Full spoilers. Is Spider-Man in it? She goes, "No." And I'm like, "Then I'm not seeing it."
Yeah. Then
Like
I don't care. Yeah.
not even a cameo, nothing, like no interest. Absolutely
I just
nothing.
I don't understand why they're doing these villain. This isn't leading to anything. This is
Yeah.
not going to lead to anything. They're going to keep teasing these team ups at the end like they did in Morbius, and nothing is going to happen.
Yeah.
I just give it over to the MCU and let them include these. Let Spider-Man be in for all the future movies. You know what I mean? Like he's probably
Yeah.
the most popular superhero there is. You know, for kids at least.
Yeah.
You know, like
I mean, there's a reason
not
Marvel
just
didn't
kids. I
sell
love
his
Spider-Man too.
merchandising. Like Sony only has film rights. So
Yeah.
like Marvel was smart enough that they're like, all right, this guy is the guy. So like they can make his movies, but we'll make all the money off his toys. Like the
And
George
then we'll
Lucas
buy
thing.
them back and get all the movies.
And that's what like
Yeah,
Disney and Marvel have all the money in the world. They could easily buy him back now. It's just a matter of Sony bending at the knee. And
yeah. No, I have a feeling soon because I mean, if we got the X-Men back, if we bought, I mean, not we, but Disney bought out.
we did it.
We did it. Disney bought out Fox, so like you know, if they can buy out Fox, they can definitely buy out like at least
I
Sony
actually
like pictures. You know, like
I'm curious if they don't want to buy Sony as a company because like with what happened with Fox and how long it took and like they had to prove they weren't going to be a monopoly after that.
yeah,
I'm curious if that has a big impact on them not buying Sony because like if they buy it like again they step that much closer to being a monopoly in the film industry like
yeah.
I and the numerous other things Sony owns such as like Blu-ray technology,
I was gonna
PlayStation
say,
like
do you think they? I mean, I didn't know if they would just buy like the division of Sony Pictures, or if they would buy like Sony as a whole. You know,
I
like
I think they just want Spider-Man. Like I don't even think they want Sony is
Sony.
my
Yeah,
point. Like I think they just want like, hey, just sell us the rights. Like
just
just
yeah,
give him back.
just send it back over. We'll give you
And
a couple bill and call it a day.
yeah, I don't know, dude. Well, I just I don't know. I'm actually very excited and like, you know, not nostalgia, naive me, but I'm actually wearing the shirt for it.
Woo.
But the new animated show coming out, I am very excited about the story that they can, because
Yeah.
that essentially is going to be a MCU Spider-Man story top to bottom. Like
Yeah.
Daredevil's confirmed to be in it, Doctor Strange is confirmed to be in it. Like
Man, that's gonna be
there's a
good.
bunch of MCU characters that are going to be in it, and it's just Spider-Man from the beginning. And it's look, Spider-Man Homecoming, my favorite, like I think the best Spider-Man movie today. I think Spider-Man Homecoming is the best. No Way Home is one of my favorites because of what it did. But like to have full control over Spider-Man's origin and like how the MCU interacts with it in a cartoon,
Yeah.
I think that could be a lot of fun. I hope and like again, naive me, but like there's like swearing and stuff in the trailer, so I'm like I think it's not just geared towards a younger audience.
No, I mean, like, I mean, look at X-Men 97. Like, that
Right.
was definitely like, a mature like, there were parts for kids, but it was definitely a mature cartoon. Um, so I think it's gonna be amazing. I'm just glad they're bringing Norman Osborn back in.
Yeah. And that's it. Like I love that like what if to it too. Like what if
Yeah,
Norman
is
uh
like the Tony to, like,
yeah. I'm very excited. I think it has a lot of potential. And I know we went from Daredevil to Spider-Man already, but like
yeah, it's a
I
natural transition.
it's a natural direct. But that's yeah, I'm very excited for that show. And that's like a I forget if they're dropping the whole show or like I remember it's supposed to be finished before Daredevil starts in March. So
Oh, so it's coming out soon. Like,
yeah,
it's okay.
it's I actually think it's next week.
Okay, well, I'm pumped.
Yeah.
There have been so many like Marvel things that are coming out that I'm like, oh, I forgot. Like, I texted you the other day, and I was like, I completely forgot that whatchamacallit was Brave New World was coming out.
I know, dude. I did not remember it being a Valentine's Day movie, which
Because
is so.
I saw that on the like when it came up on the trailer, it said February 14th. I was like, that's so sick. And Valentine's Day? Like,
I think it's there's no advertising that leans into it being on Valentine's Day
yeah,
either. Like, yeah, I think they should own it because like Valerie and I have tickets. We're going Valentine's Day for us.
yeah. Nah, I told Kayla, I was like, well, maybe we can go see it that weekend, but I won't take you on Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
like, thank you.
Thank, thank, thank you for
Thank you.
asking.
But yeah, no, the new Spider-Man show looks amazing. I also the animation style looks really cool. Like um
I'm
it feels like a comic book. You know what I
I
mean?
really like what they're trying to do. I think it's a little rough around the edges, but like I love the color. Like I love the 60s or golden age comics coloring that they're using.
Yeah.
Like it is like really cool to see what is assumably going to be a modern Spider-Man. Like I know they showed a kid like uh live streaming it on the phone. So like it's not like it's set in the 60s or whatever.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, I really like that they're using that color scheme because that feels very like
Very bold. It's very
yeah.
yeah. Because I remember.
Also,
Oh, good, good.
I was just gonna say the Future Foundation suit being in it as the Oscorp
Oh,
suit is cool. The
yeah.
black, the white and black one, like the
Hmm.
reverse symbiote suit. Very cool suit. I think I have a pop somewhere, but I don't know where. But like, it's a very neat like. I mean that storyline is just such a good storyline. So I love like having any Easter egg reference to that at all. Like,
Oh yeah.
especially with Fantastic Four coming out this year. Which, by the
Oh
way,
my God. I
again, I know,
like
dude. That's in like
yeah.
July.
You know what else I just saw pop up when I was looking up the trailers on YouTube is the Thunderbolts. I forgot the Thunderbolts trailer came out
Oh,
too.
wait,
Like,
that's fall, right? That's
I
like end
think
of the
so.
year.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Man. I think the Spider-Man show just looks cool, and I'm really hopeful for it because it's just they have full control over something like that, and I have gotten to the point that I really hope it's good. My only concern is that it's been delayed so much. Like that show was supposed to come out like I think 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah, oh,
Like
yeah.
it's been a
I
while.
remember them releasing like pictures of it when they announced I think Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty at like I guess 3 years ago now
Yeah, that
at
sounds right.
Comic-Con.
And it was originally titled freshman year. Like
Yeah.
that was the everyone thought it was going to be in the MCU. It was going
I
to be his
yeah, I
freshman
thought
year
it
of
was
high
gonna be like
school.
Tom Holland, like,
Yeah,
like his origin story, basically.
right. But that's what I think it's very much his. I'm sorry, I pen. I hit the microphone. I think it's very much his origin story, like with a twist. It's like
Yeah.
I would be willing to say like kind of like hardcore like to show you what I watch on YouTube, but like FNAF theorists, like Five Nights at Freddy theorists, like
Mm.
there's no solid storyline to that game franchise, and everyone's constantly trying to figure out what the story is. And I feel like that's kind of how people are going to approach the Spider-Man show is like, oh, in this show, Peter Parker had to do XYZ, so we can assume he did that in the
And
MCU as a kid.
yeah,
Like it's not confirmed, but you can like think along those lines that he did that or something similar.
yeah.
But
Um,
yeah.
completely not random, but going off of your Five Nights at Freddy's thing, there's no like legit not story, but like premise to that like game, and they
Well,
made a movie out of it.
so there's been the big thing is they always had lore. Like they hide story in the game. Like
Okay.
there'll be like posters or like newspaper clippings, and it's like, oh, like six children were murdered. How were they murdered? Find out. Blah blah. But but like the game is just don't die
Yeah.
at this restaurant overnight. Like that's all the game is, jump scares.
And you're
Like
at like a security desk, right?
yes,
Basically. Yeah.
correct. That's the original games, and that's what like the more recent games have had more story to them, but they just don't really have a full fledged story, and that's what eventually the creator made a book series, which the movie is more based off of that,
Okay.
but
Gotcha.
also it's its own thing, and it's if you want to talk about convoluted, Five Nights at Freddy's is the way to go. Like I love that series, love it, but like convoluted as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, real quick, another tangent. I was watching trailers earlier today, and I saw, I was looking at the like new video game trailers coming out, and they had like not video games, but like video game movies, and they had the Minecraft one. They're also making an Until Dawn movie, which looks
Yes.
really good.
And I think that looks really good.
Yeah.
I think Cards of the Table that was announced a while ago. I thought that was gonna be trash. I
Yeah.
was like, that game is basically a
Okay.
playable movie.
Yeah.
Why would I want to see a movie? But I watched an interview for that, and it sounds like the most interesting movie
Yeah,
ever.
it looks really good.
Yeah.
Um, but one thing I forgot, I forgot. I guess we haven't done the podcast in a while. I saw Sonic 3.
So did
Um,
I.
oh, dude, that was such a good move. Like I went into it like, oh, the first two were okay. This one will probably be pretty good. I was like, this is like Jim Carrey was amazing in that movie. Like he gave it like he still gave it his all, even though he like hates acting now.
That's what like it's so funny. I went into that movie like for and basically when the movie starts and you see Jim Carrey for the first time, I'm like, oh yeah, he's Jim fucking Carrey. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
and he just brings it.
yeah.
Like,
Like he went all out for that, and like there were jokes I was like audibly laughing in the theater.
yeah.
Like some of his jokes he was making, I was like, God damn, he's so funny. Like
Oh my God, dude, when he that scene when you're introduced to him and he's fat for the first time,
yeah,
and he's got the burrito that he first of all he microwaves it, and the microwave is just
just yeah,
disgusting. Oh my God, I was like, I was like gagging in my seat, and then he just like he's just so gross, but he just owns like I.
yeah.
But the funniest thing is I was talking to someone else about this, and I was like, there's a generation of kids now who Jim Carrey isn't, that comedian, or he isn't the Grinch. He's
He's
Eggman.
Eggman. Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's who
That's
he is
there's a
to them.
weird like yeah,
Yeah,
like he's not Ace Ventura to them. He's not the guy from Liar Liar. He's Eggman, Dr.
he
Eggman.
is Dr. Eggman. It's just so, and he's great, dude. The dancing scene with him
Oh my
and
God, that is
old him.
amazing. And like I could totally see that being Jim Carrey, like at least one of them being Jim Carrey. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and
he's got some pretty good moves.
I loved that. So you said you saw the other two as well.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
in the second one, I mean, full Sonic spoilers. Fuck you.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like in the second one, it ends and he's like 40 stories up in that robot, and it's like he assumably dies because the
yeah.
robot crashes to Earth. And
And
I love that that's never
never,
addressed. They're
yeah,
just like, we thought
he's
you died. And he's
yeah.
like, nope.
Nope, I'm
It's
here.
like I love that like that full on just owning the fact that this is a game franchise for children, and they're
Mhm.
like, nope, he's alive. Who
Yeah,
cares? Like
who
that's
cares?
what the Sonic 3 ends with him blowing up in space, and he's gonna come
He's
back
probably
somehow.
gonna be in the
Like,
fourth one. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh man. And what's Keanu Reeves was Shadow.
Was
I, yeah, I
even
mean,
Idris,
I
even Idris Elba as
yeah, as
Knuckles
Knuckles.
is
Yeah,
still so
that's
funny.
oh
He's
my
so
God,
good.
he's a great. It's a great
Yeah,
choice, but it's just a weird choice. Like I was like Idris Elba, like Ben Schwartz makes sense. The guy who's Sonic,
he's perfect. He's absolutely
he's
perfect.
perfect as Sonic. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm. Is it? I wonder if it's the actual person that voices Tails because it sounds like
I believe
Tails.
you are correct. I think
Okay,
Tails is the only voice actor where it's the video game voice actor.
I was just like I was listening to. I was like that sounds exactly like Tails.
Yeah.
Um, did you watch the Knuckles show?
I did not. I didn't have
I didn't. So Ollie had it on over the summer, and I was like half. I was working. I was like half paying attention. From what I
uh
was watching, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Um,
I assumed it would be more or less the same. Like
yeah,
again, I got to give credit to this franchise because they turned what was going to be
an
the worst
absolute
rated
bomb.
movie of all
Yeah,
time into the greatest video game franchise in
and
film.
like they do a good job adding adult humor slyly into the movies.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like Jim Carrey's purpose for being in those movies is to make the adults laugh.
Yeah.
Like to do goofy faces and fart jokes for the kids, but then like his all his dialogue is like jokes for the parents basically because like
Yeah.
everything he was saying in that third one I was like I don't really remember the first two because they've been a while since I've seen them
Yeah.
but I was just dying at everything he was saying in in the third one.
He's, I mean, he's Jim Carrey. Like the way he does the dialogue, it just comes off as perfectly as it can, and it's the most like you would expect him to just mail in this job, and
Yeah,
he gives it his all
he's
every
like
time.
actually trying, which I was surprised
Yeah,
because I was like, I thought he was done acting. Like I
he
thought he had
was.
said, yeah,
That's what Jim Carrey got to the point in life where he hated acting, and Sonic is so fun for him. He does it
he did.
again and again.
Yeah, oh yeah, which is so cool to see. Like you can tell
Yeah,
he's having fun. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I like to your point about the dancing scene. I absolutely think he did at least one of them.
oh yeah,
Like I wouldn't be surprised if he did one and they just mirrored it for the most of it. Like
yeah. It was I loved it. It was they were in those like shiny red. It was what it was like the deflecting the
the
beams or whatever. I was
lasers.
like, oh
Yeah.
man, that was so good.
It's so funny. It's just so goofy and it's just that's I love that that franchise knows what it is. Like it just
Yeah,
sticks to we're a kids movie and let's make everyone laugh along the way. And
yeah.
like also logic isn't the most important thing in the world.
We're
But
not, yeah,
also
exactly. Yeah,
gets a little dark with the whole Shadow Sonic stuff at the end of
yeah,
the movie. Like
yeah. That
it
was that.
it
Yeah,
it does a thing.
it pulled at the heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit, a
A little
little
bit.
bit. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, I saw that Sonic, well, there's a credit scene. Sonic
Yeah.
4 is in the works. Like
Yep.
it's
Well,
one of
I
those
don't know
things I'm like,
I don't know the
I don't know
girl
how many
one.
more of these I'll see in theaters, but I'll
Yeah.
definitely keep watching them.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it with the end was the girl, right? The girl
Amy.
Sonic.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know the name.
Which I don't know Sonic very well, but I
Yeah.
know characters. Like I know that was Metal Sonic in the credit scene as well. Um, but
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yep. Yep.
it was really funny to me because again, I'm in theater. It's me and a couple of guys our age, and then it's like a full
Full
sold out
of
theater of
children.
children,
Yeah.
and it was just so funny to me because the credit scene happens, and I'm like, oh, that's obviously for like the adults who know who these characters are for the next movie, kind of a thing.
Uh-huh.
But this kid, 2 seats to my right, he must have been no more than like 6, and he goes, and
Yeah. I there was a group of
I'm
kids in
like,
front of us
Sonic
that did
fans
that.
are legit, dude.
Yeah. That's a group of kids did that in front of us too, and I was like, "Holy shit, these kids know who this is!" Like,
I love it. I absolutely love it. Like
yeah,
10 out of 10.
yeah.
Great.
No, it was good. It was a fun time. So another tangent, real quick about kids movies. Did you see Moana 2?
I did see Moana too.
Okay,
Yes.
so did I.
I am a children's movie person without children.
I mean, it's Disney. It's Disney and
It's
video game
Disney.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's all perfectly acceptable. What was your
I liked it. I didn't think it was better than the first one.
yeah same.
But like I liked it.
I think the music was a bit. Lin Manuel Miranda didn't do the music for this
Yeah.
one,
And you can
so I
tell.
feel like they definitely tried to copy it, and it just was not was not as
It
good.
also another thing is that it was supposed to be a show, and when Bob Iger got Disney back, he was like,
He was
"No,
like,
this
nope,
needs to be a
movie.
movie." And I think there's Valerie pointed this out, and I totally agree. I think there's times in Moana 2 where you're like, okay, this is where an episode would have ended and another
Yeah,
episode would have started. Like you can
yeah.
feel that a little bit. Um, again, I think it's good. I just don't think it holds up to Moana 1 at all.
No,
But like I do think it's like it I hate this, but like I do think it's good.
yeah. it was a good movie. I wasn't like disappointed at all. It was just yeah, it was that feeling of like first one was better,
Yes,
and also the
and
music wasn't as great.
I will also say along these lines, I actually, yeah, just saw Mufasa yesterday.
Oh, okay, yeah. Owen was talking about it
I
when we were at
liked the
Disney.
story a lot, but
Mhm.
the music was terrible, dude.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
And that was Lin-Manuel Miranda. Like
Ooh,
that's what,
Jesus.
yeah. It was like it was one of those things where it was like the songs would start and you're like, oh, all right, come on, let's just get through
Yeah,
this. Like they
get
weren't
the story
good.
going.
They
Yeah,
weren't good, but like, yeah, the story was fun. And like, I still stand by if you're gonna remake all these movies, like this Mufasa is the kind of movie to make next is give us a prequel or a sequel to them that we haven't seen before. Like a
yeah.
Mufasa origin story was fun. And like, it's not the groundbreaking movie of the century or anything like that, but
But
like
it was not passable, but it was it was fun to
it
watch.
was enjoyable and it was
Yeah,
a new story. Like
yeah.
I liked that it was a new story.
It
Like
wasn't
with
just a
our
remake. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I really enjoyed it. Which along and last thing I've got for Disney, but when we saw Sonic 3, there was a trailer. There's like a couple of trailers right now, very teasery trailers for the new Lilo and Stitch live action coming out this
Oh
year.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that played in front of Sonic 3 for us. And there was a
Yep, same.
moment where me and the guy I saw and I saw with Brandon, shout out Brandon, but like me
Hey,
and Brandon, I forget who said it to who, but like someone was like, "Oh man, this remake, right?" Something
yeah.
goofy like that, right? Like we don't need this. But I mean, I shit you not, I like shut myself right up. A kid behind us goes, "Oh my God, I can't wait to see that." And I'm like, "You know what?
Hey, he's
That's a chop for
excited.
me because
Yeah,
that's why they're doing it. They're
and
doing it for
that's
actual
Chuck.
kids.
Yeah,
That's a chop for me. So good. I'm glad that people want to see these movies. Like, and that's
yeah,
just it's kind of that sobering reminder that you don't have to see everything.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Like you don't have to see like these ones are specifically meant for kids because they don't
Yeah.
like kids are now you like kids are now used to better animation. So
Yeah.
like I remember like trying to show him the original Aladdin and like the original Lion King. He wanted nothing to do with it because
That's so
it wasn't
yeah.
like 3D animated. So like I get it why they're doing this.
I'm curious
Um,
how you guys will feel about Mufasa. Did Owen say he liked it or not?
oh, and Assisi said they liked it. Yeah.
That's what like again, I liked it. I just the music was it was boring. Like it was just literally boring and that's not good.
I feel like for something like that, they didn't need to do music. Like The Lion King, obviously like the musical, so like sure,
Right.
that's fine. But that one you didn't need music. You could
I
have just
agree.
done that a regular story. Like
And there's actually like no joke. It's either the first, I think it's the second song, but it's either the first or second song, and it's this little lion cub, uh, Tucka, it's like Taka, something like that, and
mm,
he starts singing, and he's like, I'm not joking, but he's like, oh, these people will listen to me when I'm king, blah blah blah, when I'm king, blah blah blah, and I'm like, this is I can't
this
wait to
is
be king,
yeah.
Lin-Manuel edition. Like that's what are we doing here?
It's like that weird rap, like sort of rapping, but not rapping. Yeah.
And that's what like it's very Lin-Manuel, but like you've heard it before.
Yeah.
It's like he took the Moana soundtrack and just replaced the
And just
words with less interesting words. Like,
and threw a lion in there every once in a while.
yeah. And my brother, gotta go, my brother, gotta help my brother. It's like, oh my God, all right, shut up. God damn.
We
Just give me
get
a
it,
line.
Lynn. Jesus. Um, you wanna do you want to talk Disney or do you want to talk Superman?
Whatever you want, dude. I'm
Since
whatever.
we're on the topic of Disney,
Stick to Disney.
we'll stick to Disney real quick.
Sounds
I
good.
so we both did we talk about your Disney
I don't think
trip
so.
on it? I don't think you had no because we didn't do a podcast because you went after we visited, right?
Yes.
Like a couple weeks
Yes.
after we
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
visited.
yeah, yeah. Correct,
So I
correct,
think we
correct.
had done a podcast before we came up.
Yeah.
But so we both have had Disney park like theme park experiences in the past couple months. So
Yep.
what you want to talk about?
Sure. So Val and I went to Tokyo Disneyland and it was amazing. And Disney Sea. So they have two parks. It's Disneyland and Disney Sea. I love
Disney
that
Sea?
yeah, so like SEA,
Oh,
like
okay, like
the
sea,
sea.
like yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I think it's a play on words. Like again, Disneyland versus Disney
Disney
Sea.
Sea.
Like
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah,
I love it. I think
yeah.
it's a stupid
That's
little
fun.
gimmick. But yeah, Disneyland Tokyo Disneyland is basically Tokyo's Disney World. They're literally California Disneyland. It's got a lot of those rides. It's got Pirates of the Caribbean, which we talked about. It's got the Winnie the Pooh ride. It's Small World, which I was bummed because it was closed.
Ah,
I wanted to experience international. It's a Small World
yeah,
because
yeah.
it would be not in English, and then all of a sudden I assume there's a
There's
section in
probably an
English, and you'd be
English
like,
section.
"There
Yeah,
it is, there it is,
yeah.
there it is."
There we are.
But it was
Go
closed, so
birds.
couldn't do that. But yeah, no, it was a great time. I had so much fun. The park is just so much. Part of me wants to say it's taken care of better, but I think it's
Probably
just
it's
overall
probably
newer.
respected more.
It
Yeah.
might be. It just feels like things were like we were talking off air about Pirates of the Caribbean, and I actually was thinking about it. And I'm pretty sure you're right that the Tokyo Pirates of the Caribbean is very highly praised. It's a similar animatronic and similar like storytelling. You go to the boat where Barbossa is, and so the big thing with Pirates of the Caribbean is it's like darker. Like I
Yeah.
forget like there's not blood, but they're willing to show like pirates like die or something in the ride,
In the
or
Tokyo one?
yeah,
Oh
and
wow.
it's more like, oh, they're pirates.
Yeah.
Like there's like and it's still Pirates of the Caribbean, but I just think it's a little
Little
edgier. Is it
edgier
like
than the Disney World
it's a little
one.
more like teenage edge versus like like a
Horror,
grade
like
school
haunted
edge,
house. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but like it's very good, and my big thing, and apparently it's been a little while since I've been to Florida, Disney World, but apparently rides are starting to get this there. But like all the rides that are like recent in any way have updated to be like track lists, so like the carts
Yeah.
don't have tracks,
Yeah,
and
we
that's
the one in Hollywood Studios was like that. It was cool. It was really
it's
cool.
really neat, and it's
Yeah.
like it's very like seamless and flows really well. Like,
Yeah.
and the very specific one was the Winnie the Pooh adventure ride. Is so first of all, it's like Winnie the Pooh in Florida. I don't know if anyone doesn't know, but like it was originally the headless horseman with Ichabod Crane,
Oh,
I think is what it
Sleepy
is.
Hollow.
Yeah, and it was originally that, and they redesigned that ride to be this Winnie the Pooh ride. But this Winnie the Pooh ride in Tokyo was built for that. So like, there's this giant like Winnie the Pooh like storybook like opening and
Oh wow.
like the line. It's very for that ride, and then
Yeah,
the ride itself is way more like the carts are like intertangling with each other and going by each other. It's so
that's
cool, and
pretty
I
cool.
like it's hard to explain why the rides are better, but they just kind of were.
I know the one in so I me and my family, everybody, we went to Disney World in Florida, and at Hollywood Studios they changed the Great American Movie Ride to
It's a
it's now
Mickey.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway
Yeah.
Railway or whatever. Dude, that ride was so much fun. It was like
Yeah.
it was the trackless and like at first have you been on that one yet?
I don't think so. I might have went on it last year, but I don't remember.
You're on like a train and you're like, Goofy's like, driving, being the conductor, and then you like not crash, but like you hit a bump and all the carts separate and you're on like, you're not on you think you're on a track at first because you're all together, and then when you
Uh-huh.
separate you can tell you're on like the wheels are moving, and like you
Yeah.
start like interchanging with the ones around you, and then there's this one part where you go into like a LED dome and it looks like you're falling off of a cliff, like a waterfall. It is the
Okay.
coolest thing in the world. I don't know how to explain.
Yeah.
It was like a screen, like it was like a giant 3D screen, like the Sphere in Vegas, but just smaller.
Yeah.
And your like cart goes into the like you're in a room. You like come into the room and there's three different like holes basically you can go into, and each cart goes into a hole, and then like you go down this waterfall. It is like the screen make it look like you're going down a waterfall. It was the coolest thing in the world.
I my new favorite ride right now, like non-roller coaster ride, is in Tokyo. It sounds very similar, which is why I'm saying it.
Mm.
So they have Beauty and the Beast Castle, which I believe, I
Ooh.
keep saying this, I believe it's the only Disneyland that has that castle specifically.
Yeah.
And in the castle is a Beauty and the Beast ride, and it's very similar. It's like the trackless carts, but it starts with it lines all the carts up around the table that Belle is sitting at, and you
Oh, that's
start
pretty cool.
singing "Be Our Guest," and
Hmm.
like the carts all start dancing around each other. So there's just
That's pretty
dozens of
cool.
us in this cart, like going around each other as the music's playing, and again, like these animatronics are just on another level there.
Yo, yeah,
It's
I
so
can
good.
imagine.
And like it ends with, again, it's just the movie, but like it ends with you see Belle and the prince dancing in the ballroom and you're dancing around them. And it's like they're animatronics, but like they let the face be like digital.
Yeah,
So, but
yeah.
it still looks like a cartoon, even though it's right in
It's
front of me. Like
yeah.
it's really cool. And I gotta give, like, I've heard a lot of people give a lot of high praise to a lot of rides in the Tokyo parks, and that was just definitely my favorite, was that ride. There's the other one I wanted to mention. I forget if it's Sea or Land, but they have the Indiana Jones ride that's actually going to come to Animal Kingdom now.
I think
Um, and I forget where it originated, but like they have it currently in Tokyo, and that's what they're replacing Dinosaur in Animal Kingdom with it.
oh,
Um,
they're replaced. Okay,
and
that
it was a
scared the
really
shit out of Ollie.
cool, it was a it was a really cool, fun ride, but that was like, oh, this is old as shit.
Yeah,
Like the animatronic does
for
not look anything like Harrison
oh
Ford.
really?
And it's just the most like Muppety looking old white man. Like,
That's pretty
but the
good.
ride itself was really cool. It does the
Yeah,
whole like you're going through a temple and you like, again, they're really big about like you're almost gonna crash into other people.
yeah. Is it a dark ride type thing?
Yes,
Okay,
very. Like literally it's mostly in caves.
okay.
It's very cool. So dinosaur scared Ollie.
Oh, terrified. I felt so bad. Like he wasn't like screaming or anything, but like
Yeah.
it was the last ride of the day that we did. It was a Animal Kingdom, right? Yeah,
Yep.
Animal Kingdom. And we
No
had
line because it's old. No one goes on it anymore.
there was like a 45-minute wait. It was
Okay.
surprising. There was
Maybe it's because it's
long.
closing, so people are trying to catch it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was also we had just done the Nemo show, and that like basically led right towards the dinosaur
Yeah.
ride. So I think everybody just started going. But so we did that, and it was me, Kayla, Ollie, and my mom. My mom was like, "Oh, I'll go on with you guys," and I'm like, "I think it's a little bumpy, mom." She's like, I don't care." And so we're on the ride, and I kind of like leaned over to Kayla. I was like, "You might want to sit next to him on this one. I might want to sandwich in between us because he's
Yeah.
probably gonna get scared." And I felt bad, dude. The one part, so it started like you're bumping around and the lights
Yeah.
are flashing and everything. And then the one part, I was like, let's put him on the right side. I was like, because I'm pretty sure on the left side the dinosaur pops
The
out.
yeah.
Nope, it was on the right side. I felt so bad. I was like, God damn. I mean, he was sitting like in the middle, like the middle
Right. He
right.
wasn't right there.
Yeah, yeah, and but dude, it popped out, and he was like you can see the pit. We have the picture, of it, and he's just looking straight down. I was like, man, I feel so bad.
I'll try to find infamous Santangelo picture, but
Oh, I
we
can
have a picture from the dinosaur ride, and it's the funniest thing because like every one of the kids is like has that look of like holy
terrified.
shit
Yeah,
scared, but me, I'm like
dinosaur.
dinosaur.
Yeah,
And like I'm not like old or anything in it. It's like it's like young me was just like a
dinosaur. Yeah.
dinosaur.
Mom, look.
Now, but
God
then
damn it, Zach! I see.
you put 30-year-old me on cat and mouse roller coasters, and
Oh
I'm
my god.
shitting
Oh,
my pants every
jeez.
time.
The there's one that there I don't know if it's still there, but there's one on one of the boardwalks in the Jersey Shore, and that thing felt like it was about to fall apart.
Every time I feel like I'm gonna die on those rides.
Mhm.
There's one in Hershey Park. That's the one that specifically gets me every time. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yep.
those things are, I hate them.
Um, for one thing I wanted to talk about real quick, I'd never been to the Galaxy's Edge. I'd never
Yes,
been there, and
which I
so
also got to go last year to Galaxy's Edge for the first time,
yes,
so that was cool.
unfortunately, we didn't get to go on any of the rides. The lines were just way too long. They were
Hmm.
like 2 hours a pop to wait, and I was like, I don't know if we want to spend the whole day waiting in lines. Um, but I mean, it was fun like walking around. We didn't get to do the legit lightsaber building because there was all
Hmm.
the reservations were all booked up for that day. But we went to like there's like another smaller one.
Yeah,
And Ollie built like a dual-sided lightsaber. We got to
very
like
cool.
play with that a little bit. Just walking around the town was cool because it's like it looks like it looks. I mean, I know it's not. Is it supposed to be the place that Maz is from
I
in Star
believe that is
Wars?
correct.
Okay.
Actually, no, no, it's its own place because Maz's place is like green with vegetation.
Oh
That
yes, yes. This was more like deserty.
yeah, I forget what it's called because it's not Jakku and it's not uh uh Tatooine.
Yeah.
Um, oh man, I can't remember. It has its
It
own
had
lore now.
okay.
It's its own planet. But yeah, it's its own thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was gonna say like, dude, I remember when I walked through, like just walking through it, I was stunned. Like
And
just seeing everything, and you just are so absorbed. Like they do such a great job. I don't remember if you've been to Hogwarts and Diagon Alley and
no,
Universal,
not
but
yeah,
very
no.
similar to that,
Yeah.
where you can't see the rest of Disney World. Like you
Yeah,
can
yeah, they
only
do a
see
good job
Star Wars
blocking that
stuff.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
Um,
cool.
when we were walking in, as we were walking in, Kylo Ren and the stormtroopers were walking out, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool!" Like, yeah, I don't know, it was cool seeing them walk by, and they're like, the
Yeah,
stormtroopers are not yelling at people, but they're like, "Move out of the way,"
yeah.
move, and Kylo Ren's like talking to people. I was like, "Oh, this is so cool! Like, this is fun."
It's really they I think they do a great job of interacting people with the characters. It's I
One,
love Disney.
the characters were fun to interact with. One thing that's weird is how the workers stay in character.
Yeah.
Like it was a cool thing. I was wearing I was wearing my Phillies hat, and one of the workers walked up to me. He goes, I just got a quick transmission, go birds," and then he walked away. And I was like, "Oh, okay, that was a cool one. Like that was a good one."
That's fun. That's a
And
fun one.
but like we're at we were in line for Chewbacca, and we were like up next, and the lady was like, "Oh, here's the rules," and we were like, "Oh, Cece had gotten all the kids bags, like drawstring cloth bags to get signed by the characters."
Oh, that's cute.
And we were like, "Oh, can we have Chewbacca sign the bag?" She goes, "Oh, unfortunately, we can't let Chewbacca sign anything because we don't want the Federation, we don't want the New Order to be able to find our hide." And we're like, "Okay, lady, you could have just said no."
Just say
Like,
no.
we
Just
don't
say
want,
you can't
yeah.
sign the bag. Like
I know. I was like, "Come on!" Like, I mean, I understand they want to stay in character for the kids and everything, but like,
I think it's funny they don't. Dude, back in the day, I think you just sign stuff now. Back in the day, I remember Buzz Lightyear. The costume was so big. Buzz had a stamp. He would just
oh,
stamp books.
that's
Like
awesome.
and it was just like a Buzz signature stamp. I remember that so vividly.
Oh, that's
It's
pretty
like the
good.
most like billionaire like check kind of a thing, right? You know, and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I thought that was so funny.
that's pretty good.
Oh shoot, you reminded me of something else I wanted to. Oh, I had a Go Birds moment in dude Tokyo. Tokyo was first of all a great time and highly recommend if anyone's considering it. But like it was really funny the first day in the park in Disneyland. So
Mm.
Disneyland Tokyo, you're in Tokyo. It's a lot of Japanese tourists.
Yeah.
Like that
Oh
it
yeah.
is
Yeah.
their park, you know.
Yeah.
There is certainly like international tourism there as well, but it's mostly local
Mostly
tourism.
Japan. Yeah.
And it was so funny, dude. The first day I'm walking down the street and there's just a guy and his girl and he's just in a bright green Eagles shirt. And I didn't have an Eagles shirt
Go
on, but
birds.
I like point at him and I gave the loudest go bird. And this dude looked like he was like, "Where am I? What's happening? What's going on?" And he started laughing once he like saw me pointing at him, and it
That's
was just one of the
awesome.
funniest because I absolutely would have got a picture with this guy had I been wearing an Eagles shirt. Like
Oh yeah.
it was just so random to
Such a
be in
coincidence
Japan.
in the middle of Tokyo to see someone with a Kelly Green jersey walking, like
It was
go
awesome. It
birds.
was go birds. It was so funny.
We
Yeah,
got
dude.
a ton. We were at Animal Kingdom that Sunday when like the Eagles were playing, and I wore my jersey, and Blake and Owen wore their like Eagles jackets, and we were walking around, and we were playing a game. It was like it was like a beer was $13. So
Okay.
if we got 13 Go Birds, we could get or Eagles acknowledgments at all. I think we got like enough for Blake to get two beers or something like that. Like there was so many Eagles fans there, which makes sense. I mean, that's a
That's
big hot
awesome.
like I feel like a lot of East Coast people go to go down to
Oh
Florida.
yeah. And like my parents are retired down south. Like it's a big like not that Disney's the retirement place, but it's like a lot of Philly fans travel south.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
hot
But there
ticket
was
spot.
there was a lot of like covert, like a lot, even the workers, like the one guy, one of the like It was the kid from Up, um,
Yeah,
the
what's his name?
Doug or not Doug. I forget his. That's the dog. Whatever his name is. Like
Yeah, I don't
they
remember
had
his name.
like a thing where you could go to each station at each like animal thing, and they like it was something for Ollie, like where they put a sticker in his book. Um, but he was like talking with us, and he was like, "Ah, that's Saquon." Like he like broke character for a second when he was like talking football with us, and then like another family came up, and he was got back in, but it was funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. I still, dude, the transmission go birds and like that's great.
Oh
That's
yeah.
freaking awesome.
At first I thought we were like in trouble for a second. I was like, "Fuck, like what do we do?" Like, and he was like, I just got an incoming transmission. Go birds!"
Go birds.
And he just walked away. And I was like, "Hey, go birds!"
That's actually like phenomenal.
Yeah. I like wish I was recording something at that moment. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause
Yeah.
that would have been amazing to catch on
Right.
camera. One thing I wanted to talk about real quick for Disney, which one was it? The last one. So that was Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
We didn't get a chance to go on it, but the Tron ride looked pretty fucking cool.
Oh, I didn't know Tron. I keep
Yeah.
forgetting that opened.
I thought that was only in Japan. Like I thought they were
So that, oh man, dude, when I was planning this trip years ago, because our Japan trip was delayed so much, but like our first trip, I was like, oh, I can't wait, I'm gonna go on Tron ride in Japan, blah blah blah. It's not in Japan. It's in Shanghai. It's in China.
okay.
Yeah. So I did not go on that ride
No.
because I really thought I got some like Daredevil horns going on. I thought I was gonna get to go on that on this trip. We actually but yeah, I dude, I want to go on that so badly. It's like
That it looked
so
like so we did it's right next to Space Mountain. They put it like right next to Space Mountain
okay. Is
in
it
Magic
bigger than
Kingdom.
Space Mountain, I
It's
assume?
huge. Yeah. It looks like a stadium. Like it's
Yeah.
huge. Um but we were doing the cars like the speedway thing like where you
Yeah.
drive the fake cars around and it's you drive right past it. Dude, that thing I mean it's like it starts out outdoors but it's like enclosed and then I guess you go indoors to like a 3D part but the loop it did outside, I was like, man, that looks cool. And you're on like a bike and everything too. Like
Yeah.
it looks
That's
awesome.
what it has, the like gimmicky aspect of it, like the old I mean, I assume they're still running, but the Superman rides at Six
Yeah.
Flags,
Yes.
where it
Yep.
was
Yep.
like you
Yep.
get to like actually like,
Like lay
I gotta be
down.
careful,
Yeah.
gotta make sure I put two arms up.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
but like the ride of
Huge.
them like where you get to like actually fly like you're horizontal as opposed to like it's neat that I saw people like I watched like videos on the Tron ride because it looks so cool. Like you
Yeah. No,
literally get on the bike and it like locks you in like
yeah, it looked pretty cool.
sweet.
It
That
was
looks
just
really cool.
wait. It was like a 3 hour wait, and I was like, I don't want to spend all day waiting in line. But that and I didn't get to go on it, but Cece went on it. She got in the queue. They didn't do like so it was the Guardians ride at Epcot.
That's I
The
have
new roller
heard that
coaster.
ride is amazing.
So I didn't so I thought you could just go and wait in line. Apparently you can't do that yet because it's such a new ride. You have to like
Really?
go online and get into a queue and like you go it's like it's kind of like almost like fast pass like you go between 1 and
Yeah.
130. Um but CC and her sister went on it and they said it was awesome. I watched the video for it. It looks amazing because they're playing like the soundtrack and everything. The Celestials are in it.
Oh,
Because there's like a part where you go around this like giant room and you're like kind of circling it in the roller coaster, and there's like
yeah.
a giant celestial projection in the middle of it. It looks awesome,
That's so cool.
and they're
That's
playing
so
like
cool.
the Guardians soundtrack and everything. Like, oh man, it looks pretty cool.
That's what my mom said. It's like her favorite ride there now, and
Oh,
my
they went
mom
on it.
likes, yeah, and
Oh
that's what
man,
like this was I forget when, but like my mom likes the Marvel movies, but like
yeah,
they're by no means her favorite things in the world, and like so for her to say that ride is like her favorite ride is a big deal. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like
it's high
that's
praise.
yeah, and it's really cool. I would like to go. I would really like to go though. The next Disney I want to hit, which I don't know when or if or whatever, but like I'd like to go to Disneyland California because that's where
Yeah.
Avengers Campus is. Like
Now, sorry to cut you off for, but
yeah.
I don't know if you know. I was looking at it because I want to go to Disneyland at some point as well. Is that just one park there, or is there multiple? Like, is it like a Disney World type thing? Because I know there's the California Adventure, which is like
That's
their Magic Kingdom.
I think that so Disneyland is like their Magic Kingdom,
Oh, okay. But
but
California Adventures,
is like their second park. I think there's only two. I think it's just
gotcha.
those two parks.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
because like I saw like the Avengers Campus thing, and then they have like a Cars section, like not even just like a like almost like how they have a Toy Story Land now at Hollywood
Yeah,
Studios. Like they have
isn't
like a
like the
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 Radiator
springs
Springs,
like
yeah.
yeah, Radiator
Mm.
Springs. I was like, I knew it's springs. Yeah,
Um,
again, I haven't been there. I actually I don't know. Might be going to California in a couple weeks actually, so we'll see. That's
oh,
a work
a
related trip.
little Popeye.
Man, if I could go to Disneyland while I was there, oh my God.
That would be pretty
I don't
fun.
know. At least,
On the company's
yeah.
dime.
That would be great. Oh man.
They needed some something checked out over there.
The only other thing I wanted to talk about Tokyo wise was so they actually had a new section of the park open up called Disney Springs, ironically enough.
Oh, huh.
And it was a new section in the Disney Sea Park, and it it's a brand new section. It's 100% new to the Tokyo
Huh.
parks, and it is essentially like the idea is that like you find this fantasy like canyon, and it's like these carved out mountains of the Disney characters in place,
That's pretty cool.
and it's really really cool. I should definitely show you some pictures at some point, but like it's just it's new. Rapunzel's tower is there, and they have like a full animatronic of Rapunzel in the tower singing at
Oh,
all
that's pretty cool.
times.
That's pretty cool.
There's Peter Pan. They have Captain Hook's ship there. They have Arendelle from
Oh,
Frozen,
okay,
and
yeah.
there's actually like a mountain ridge behind it, and like in the distance they have like a two scale Elsa's castle. So
Oh, that's
like
pretty cool. Like
I'm
the
sure
fro
it's like actually small,
like the ice castle
the
thing.
ice castle.
That's
So
pretty
it's like
cool. That's
it's
pretty
like you
cool.
have to look and it's like, oh my gosh, there's her castle
There,
out in the
yeah,
distance. It's
that's
really
awesome.
neat. And it was really cool. They that whole section of the park was blocked off unless you got one of those queue tickets you were just talking about, actually.
Ah, okay.
And
Huh.
we fully expected we weren't going to get it because just the way the situations were, and
Yeah.
it's very like last second, and like apparently local tourism, like people were going at like 5 a.m. to get into that park, and we were
Damn.
just not willing to do
Yeah, yeah. I
that.
mean, we're not on vacation. You're not, yeah.
um,
No, not
and
want to get
we
up
got
that early.
super lucky the one day. We just kept checking the queue to see if there would be a random ticket available, and we got in. We got a random ticket for the
Damn.
last. It was the last thing we did on the last day was see the brand new park. It was really cool.
That's a good way to end it. I mean, that's a good
Yeah,
way to wrap things up there.
it was awesome. But also, we went into the like there was one, of course, shop in that section of the park, and
Mm-hmm.
because there was only one shop, it was just tuna can packed. And when we left that store, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. I
dude,
am ready to go home.
that is how I felt. So the last day we did Magic Kingdom,
Yeah.
and the last thing we did was the fireworks. I we had to like squeeze through I was like, I am so done with crowds. I'm so done with people. I was like, I just want to I was so frustrated.
Yeah.
Um one thing I wanted to ask about Tokyo, did they have any like Kingdom Hearts Disney things that like any
Dude,
attractions or anything?
nothing.
Really?
Nothing.
Come
No
on.
Kingdom Hearts at all. I was shocked. I
That's
thought for
surprising.
sure, and I'm not saying like original content, but I just thought
But it's
Japanese
yeah, it's a
JRPG,
yeah.
Disney property, like there would be a store that just has the same merch I've seen 1,000 other places.
Or
Now,
even just like
don't,
a tiny little section to like, like
yes.
with like a
And
sewer meet
actually,
and greet or something, like
oh my God. When we went into Tokyo, like actually to explore the city the one day, tons of Kingdom Hearts like stuff
like
in the
merch.
city,
Yeah, yeah.
but like not in Disney, which I just
That's
thought was
crazy.
shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
One last thing I had about like my Disney World trip
Sure.
is just a convenience thing. I didn't realize, I guess in college I never realized you can bring me or maybe they didn't allow it, but you can bring like food and drinks into the park and dude, that saved us so much money. Like
I
we
can't even
bought
imagine, especially when you have families, like literally like your
yeah.
children with you.
Yeah,
Like, cause for me, I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna spend $20 on a lunch. Like,
yeah.
it's just for me. But like when you have Ollie,
Oh,
when
dude,
Owen and
like
Cece have
have James and
Lily and
Lily.
James, like
Yeah, like
that adds up. The
yeah.
$20 lunch a day is a lot.
I we so the day we got there on New Year's Day, and we were going to the park the next day. And we got there. I think we landed at like 2, so we got to the house by like 4. We all went out to Walmart to get like stuff for the week. And dude, we would just make sandwiches. Pack. I bought this cooler bag. We would just pack it with sandwiches, snacks, waters. Dude, we bought a meal one day, and I mean we would buy like snacks and stuff every once in a while, like at
Sure.
the park. But um, we bought one meal one day. It was $60 for the three of us. I was like, holy shit! But I was like, thank God we could. And this sounds like such a old curmudgeon way of thinking, but it was just so nice to be like, I can bring stuff into the park. We don't have to spend
Yeah.
money on water, and it was so. Thank you, Disney, for that.
My counter to that is Tokyo prices are so awesome. They're
Oh,
like
is it cheaper over
realistic.
there?
Dude, no joke. A bottle of water, $1
See, like,
in the park. In the park. Like
because
I
I
didn't
feel
have
like
to leave. It wasn't like I didn't
yeah.
have to buy a 30-ounce water for $10. Like it was a 12 or 20-ounce water, $1
I
on the
feel
dime.
like that's because the Japanese people are just so nice. And they're like, we're not going to charge you. We're not going
And
to
that's
overcharge you so much for water. Like, we're going to
I
give you
wasn't
a
going to
fair
get into the
price.
whole cultural aspect of things, but I will say this now. They were some of the nicest people.
They're
Just
like the most polite people, like polite
absolutely.
culture in the world.
I bought so much shit, like literal materialistic. Like I got a Pokemon plush thing here. Like I didn't like I
Was that a
bought so many
Lugia?
things I didn't need in Tokyo. We filled up an entire suitcase of
Of
things of junk, and I spent like less than $300. Like it was
wow.
like, yeah, like it was for a vacation where I specifically saved up money to like go all out, have a good
Yeah.
time, whatever. Like I spent like nothing
No.
over there
Yeah.
because it's so cheap.
They know how to do it right.
I bought so much garbage, dude. So much fucking shit.
That's one thing. Like, we would go to the gift shop, and Kayla was like, "Oh, why don't you get something? Get something for yourself." I was like, "There's nothing I want. Like, there's nothing they have here I want." I was like,
That's
like we like the lead out to Space Mountain now. Like when you walk out of Space Mountain is now a gift
yeah.
shop that share. Oh, well, I guess you were there last year. It shares it with Tron now. And like
Oh, okay.
There's Tron stuff, there's like Star Wars stuff in there, Marvel
Yeah.
stuff. And I was like looking at it, and I was like, it's all just it's all just
Stuff.
crap that I'm not gonna
Yeah.
use. Like I was like, they had some
I
t-shirts and stuff, but it wasn't like anything cool. So I was like,
I'm I'm still a sucker for a lot of the Disney stuff right now. And I mean, like again, I just bought it.
oh yeah,
I literally told the story of me buying the Spider-Man shirt. I'm like, you know what I didn't need in life is another
that's
Spider-Man
but
shirt. But do you know what I bought? Another Spider-Man
it was a
shirt.
hockey jersey.
But like, I don't know. But I've hit that wall specifically with concerts.
Yeah, yep,
I've been
yep.
going to concerts, which used to like I used to buy a t-shirt every concert I went to. The last few, dude, I go and I'm like, I'm
I
good.
don't need it.
I
Yeah.
am good. And I'm hoping that starts bleeding into the rest of my life because God knows I could use a little less spending money. Hint wall of lightsabers, hint hint. But like it was just one of those things where like I totally get what you mean because like we were at a Blink concert last year and I just remember I was looking at it and there was one shirt I wanted and it sold out and I was like okay with that. I was like, you know
Yeah.
what?
I was like,
That's
I
all
don't
right.
need it. Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So it was yeah, I totally get that. It's I think we're just at that age where things are becoming like
Is
things and also
yeah.
very cluttery like
Yeah.
yeah.
I know hence the pile of boxes behind me, but um you want to talk a little Superman?
Yeah, let's do a
Yeah.
little Superman cuz I got to say looks pretty good.
Yeah. Do you want to watch the trailer?
Sure, if you want. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, I gotta pull it up. Yep, there we go. This was I got goosebumps during this
I
trailer.
know, dude. I know. I actually just saw this again in front of Sonic 3 like we were
Yeah,
just talking
yeah.
and I mean
And
it's so good.
I'm not a huge Superman fan. And this like
No.
made me a Superman fan. Like, and they did do
And
a good job of making him look different as Clark Kent.
yeah, yeah, it's
Like it
funny
looks
how
like a
like this is
different guy.
it's a great example of like, oh, you can make Clark and Superman look different. Um, oh my God, we texted about it, but crypto. I know I'm speaking ahead here, but
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Good choice for Lois Lane. I don't really know the actress, but good choice
yeah.
for Lois Lane.
I don't know either of them visually.
Yeah.
It looks good.
I don't know. I don't know the guy who plays Superman either, but good pick.
Nice jawline.
Yeah.
Better than
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It's even just the whistle,
The
dude. I'm
whistle.
like,
Yep. Eh, it begins. That's a good boy.
this. I just love the visual of Superman getting dragged by this dog.
Yeah.
But even this shot, that shot, by the way, it just feels very like uh the Superman first appearance cover where he catches the car,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
him cradling that girl so she doesn't get hit by whatever's exploding. Like it just feels very that. You've
Yeah.
got and then this again,
Oh
Green Lantern
man.
just being in the trailer, Hawkwoman just being in the trailer. Like this just
It's
being an
per
established universe is a very exciting like
Yeah, they're not going to do all this origin story bullshit. It's going to be, hey, we know these characters. You're going to know these characters all by the end of the movie, even if you don't know them right now. You know what I never realized either? There's like no dialogue in the trailer other than
no.
him saying "Crypto, take me home."
I can't get over them not showing the Superman. Like they didn't show the name of the movie. They just showed DC Studios It Begins. Like
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that.
the
Wow. Yeah.
balls that
Yeah.
James Gunn has doing this right now, like I respect it. I respect the hell out of it.
It looks like I said earlier, I'm not a big Superman fan. I mean like I liked Henry Cavill as Superman. I thought Man of Steel was pretty good. Um but I've never been a big fan, man. This gave me I was like I am all in. This looks good.
It's very like I don't know anyone that like Thor before Chris Hemsworth Thor. Like he's a
True,
guy.
yeah.
Like he's a
Yeah.
lame. He's an untouchable god. Like he's an overpowered person, you know.
Yeah.
But like Chris Hemsworth, they do it in the movies. He's good, and then he gets better with Taika Waititi's take on the character, and he gets a little more, like
Yeah,
that's
they
what
give him a
this feels
personality. Yeah.
right. And this trailer just, I mean,
It looks yeah.
oh my god! Like I when I was a kid, I was the Superman, like little kid. There's like a Superman a costume I wore, but like in my comic book days, I was never a big Superman fan.
Yeah.
Like I read a couple, but yeah, dude, him. It just looks so good. It looks so, and again, it's another. We don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like
No,
we
yeah.
see Lex Luthor, which
That
by the way, great choice casting
Yes.
wise. Nick
What's his
Holt.
name? Nicholas Holt. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
No, and I love someone commented they're like he's such a good Lex Luthor because the really only scene we see him in is him looking out like his tower and just seeing Superman go by and he just looks pissed for
yeah,
Superman existing. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like and
It's
that's
a
who Lex
great
Luthor is.
visual and yeah, I mean again like we see the like monster which I bet has nothing to do with the main story that
Oh
like
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if that was Hawkwoman was fighting the monster if that was just a side by
And
side
then
shot
there's the
but
thing
like
at the end that's like the glowing eyeball in the middle of the city, like whatever that is. Like that
that
looks
I
pretty
feel like
cool.
has to be important because it's
Yeah,
the Lois Lane and him hugging moment like
yeah,
that feels
yeah.
very like goodbye make sure you come back to me kind of a thing
Oh yeah, yeah.
but I don't know what a glowing eyeball is indicating like
Yeah. Now do you think that so there's a ton of characters in this movie, not just
yeah
Superman. You know, like we got Green Lantern,
Mr.
Hawkwoman,
Terrific we see
Okay, I forgot that guy's name, Mr.
that's the guy with
Terrific.
the black tee on mask
Yes.
as a mask.
And then the deformed looking guy that's like really snippet, like a real quick snippet they showed. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick.
I don't remember the phone looking guy.
It was towards like the end. I forget what his name is, but he's apparently getting played by. Where are you? This guy. Let me share my screen. That guy.
Still loading on my end.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember seeing him in the trailer, but
that guy.
I
I
don't
forget.
know
I
who it
forget
is.
what character he is. I think he I, like a shapeshifter type character, I believe. Or
Okay.
something like that. But he's. Have you ever seen Barry? The show Barry with Bill
with
Hader.
Cloudy guy.
Yeah, yeah, with Bill Hader. Yeah. Have you ever
Hader.
seen that
Yep.
show?
I've never seen it, but I know the show. Yeah.
Do you know there's he's probably in some of the trailers. The bald Chechen guy. He's
Yeah.
got no eyebrows. That's him. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure he's playing some character. And but what I meant to say was, sorry, I got off on a tangent there. But what I meant to say was, do you think it's already going to be established that like Superman knows these people and is in like the Justice League or some form of Justice League, or do you think it's going to be like, hey, we're here to get the reins on you because you're causing
Yeah.
a bunch, like
I think it's I think hmm. So I don't think Justice League is going to already be formed because I feel like that's too big of a deal. What
true,
I
true.
do think is, did you see Black Adam?
Yeah, well, there was like the Justice Society or whatever.
I think they're going to be the Justice Society
Okay.
because the Justice Society is like you can have a team. I agree with you in the sense that I think they're not hunting Superman, but I think they're trying to like be like, "Hey dude,
Hey,
like
what's going on? Yeah.
you're making us look bad. Hey, we got to like have
Because
accountability with you,
Green
blah blah
Lantern looked
blah."
pretty pissed when he was walking up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, which by the way,
yes,
Nathan Fillion
great
just
choice.
get so much that like lately. um but I think they're going to be the Justice Society because Justice Society, no one cares. Like
Okay, yeah, yeah.
but the Justice League, like forming that feels very
That would be way too, yeah,
like too much of a moment kind of a
yeah,
thing.
true.
Um so yeah, I think they're in the Justice Society and trying to get Superman to play cool for whatever reason. That's
Okay.
what it yeah, that
So
Green
kind of like a
Lantern
Black Adam type thing, how they like had to kind of corral him, and
correct. Very similar.
yeah.
I would actually argue very similar to that, yes.
Okay. I was just wondering. I was like,
But
I
I have no
hope that's
idea,
the I hope that's the case. I was hoping they weren't
Yeah.
gonna be like, who's this guy and who are you? And oh, we should form a team. Like
I mean, that's what, like, I definitely get the idea that James Gunn is using general knowledge to our advantage. Like,
yeah,
I don't think we're going to get a straight up Krypton story. I would be shocked if we actually see Krypton itself at any point. Like, I think it's going to just be Superman's been
super.
Superman. And,
Okay.
like, it's kind of similar to, I think they've already said it, but like Batman, he's like, yeah, we're not showing the parent death scene. Like, we've seen it, we've been there,
That's
moving
see,
on.
I'm
Like,
I'm so glad they gave him the reins.
yeah, he knows what he pays respect to the comics and he knows what he's doing
Yeah,
and he's a fan. That's the thing that's like we always joke about like, oh, let us write something because we'll at least give people what they want. It's
yeah.
like
Well,
James
he does the
Gunn,
same thing. Yeah,
he knows what makes a good movie while also being a fan. So he knows how to meld that very well.
and like he took a very, I mean, at least from my knowledge at the time, a very unknown group of superheroes and made it probably one of Marvel's most popular group. Like
Yeah, I
teams.
mean,
Like nobody
Guardians of
really
the
knew who
Galaxy,
Guardians were. Like
them in the comics look nothing like they did in the movies. And
yeah,
now the
yeah.
comic book characters are based off their movie characters. Like that's
Wow.
how
That's how it
relevant the
influenced
movies
it.
are to
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Because I remember when they announced that, I'm like, the Guardians of fucking what? I was like, who the hell are these people? And then the
What a bunch
movie
of
came out.
assholes.
Yeah, but like he did such a good job introducing them and making them relatable and funny and brought
Yeah.
humor to the MCU that like. So I have a feeling we're gonna get something along those lines, and maybe probably not as crass and funny as Guardians, but I'm sure there's gonna be some lighthearted humor and good storytelling in Superman
That's what I
and
mean. I
Super.
think that's essentially what crypto is there for
Yo,
for
yeah,
the
and for a
lightheartedness
little
of
bit of
it
that
all.
merchandising.
A little bit of that plush
Yeah,
dog money.
that plush money. We're gonna see a Funko Pop of that, most
James
definitely.
Gunn knows how to merchandise. You've got Rocket Raccoon, you've got
You
Baby
got Baby
Groot.
Rocket Raccoon. You got Teefs. You got Lila.
Was there anyone in the Suicide Squad that you could say was merchandisable?
Probably Harley Quinn, just because of the
Well,
like costume.
yeah, that's a good. I mean, yeah, that's good.
Other than that,
I don't think anyone's like cute in it though.
yeah, I
Like
don't
I
think
don't think they'd
so.
have the cute animals.
Weasel. No. Speaking of Suicide Squad, have you seen the new DC Studio show on HBO on
I
or
had
on sorry
the
on
Creature
Max?
Commandos.
Yeah,
I have not watched it. I
I watched the
actually
first two episodes.
did you like it?
It's pretty good so far. Yeah,
I was following it on Twitter. Like it sounds pretty cool.
yeah.
I spoiled most of it, like just out of
It's
like I just didn't care to like watch it yet, but I wanted to know what was going on. A
Yeah.
lot of cool DC implications from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they
Yeah,
have what's her name? I mean,
Weasel.
she's only in the first episode, but they have what's her name as Amanda Waller. She's
Okay.
back as Amanda Waller. I forget the actress
I
name,
think
but
she's getting a full-blown HBO show or
yeah,
Max show.
she is. Yep, yep, yep.
I think that's interesting. I'm curious how he's going to integrate
All
some,
those,
but
yeah,
not all of those
yeah.
characters. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like,
yeah,
it's an
because like
interesting line that he's tiptoeing there.
because like now they're coming out with season 2 of Peacemaker too. So like, how is he going to bring
Yeah.
Peacemaker in with like this super version of Superman?
It doesn't. I never saw Peacemaker, but doesn't. Did you watch it?
I watched the first season. I forget like most of it, but
Doesn't Aquaman show up in that?
yes, at the end,
And like,
The
and like
Justice League,
Aquaman, we know isn't. Well, we at least. I'm pretty sure it was confirmed that he's
he's
now being.
Lobo now.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
yeah,
I'm
that's
curious what. The Suicide Squad characters are also so irrelevant to the greater DC universe. Like, who
sure that they
cares?
don't really need to be in.
Yeah.
Those could be like the Elseworld movies, like they're doing, like the Penguins and the Batmans and stuff like that.
Which I haven't watched Penguin. I'm
I
sorry,
haven't
Parker, who
either.
keeps telling me to watch it. Uh, but I will say, hot take. I think Batman 2 is never going to come out.
I could see that. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it
I
keeps
think
getting pushed back, and yeah,
it's going to keep getting delayed. And even though Penguin did really well, like really well, I think it's
yeah,
Emmy nominated. But like this Superman movie looks so good. They're going to be like, why would we allow a non-universe Batman come out?
yeah, yeah.
You
I
know
mean,
what I
that makes
mean?
sense. Yeah,
Like just they're gonna want to. This Superman movie is gonna make so much money, and
honestly,
like
like what?
they're gonna be like because the Batman movie is I think a Batman and Robin movie. They're
Yeah.
gonna be like they're gonna push that out as fast as possible
Oh yeah.
once this makes money.
They should honestly just turn it into a show. Just make all the
I would be
Elseworld
so for that.
make all the Elseworld properties like the Penguin, the Batman
Max
movies,
things.
the Suicide Squad stuff, like those. Just make them shows.
You're
Like
turning the Snyderverse into the Arrowverse, and
yeah,
I love it.
exactly. Just do that. Yeah, like that would make so much more sense.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
I agree.
so keep the Elseworld stuff away from the theaters and away from movies. Put that on Max, and then keep everything else like all the main DC Studios properties on on the big screen.
Yeah, I agree. I think it might get a little like again, I liked the Batman. I think Robert
Yeah,
Pattinson
no, it
does a
was a
great job of
great
it.
yeah.
I would rather they bring him in as Batman officially, but I
Yeah.
don't I it's very well known they're not going to do that. So like I just think when Superman ends up being a success, which it is I mean
I
like
would say
it's a lock to
it's gonna
be a
be a
success. Like
blockbuster. Yeah,
I just don't think when Warner Brothers has been failing like Sony has lately with their Spider-Man stuff, like they're gonna have a success and they're gonna be like, why would we focus on the Elseworld things? Make
but
more of
this is
this.
making the most money
Yes.
in yeah.
And good.
Yeah. Good, like keep pumping out the quality stuff
Yeah.
and not like Joker 2. I didn't see
I'm
it, but
so glad I
I've
didn't see that
I've yeah,
movie.
I've heard
I think
awful things.
that and Madam Web are like tied for the most Razzie
Dude,
nominations.
I see Madam Web come up on my Netflix like not queue but like recommended, and I'm like I want to click it, but I do not want to watch it.
No, no, it's aged so poorly in my head too. Like I'm like that just wasn't a
It
good
just
movie.
seems like a burden to
I'm
watch.
on here saying it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, and I bet you it's terrible. Like
Yeah.
I just you know what though? I still stand by this. It's 1,000% better than Morbius. Like
Okay.
if you had to hold a gun to my head and you're like watch
Choose
Morbius or
one.
pull the
Yeah.
trigger, I'm like goodbye world.
See you later. Yeah. Not sitting through
Madam
Jared
Web
Leto
is
again.
like at least a story. It's just not a good story.
Yeah.
Whereas Morbius is just
It's just
nothing.
nonsense for an hour
It's
and
just
45 minutes.
it's just the worst pile of garbage that's ever been on screen.
Such potential. The trailer looked amazing, and then just um before we're running out of time at the top here, but if do you have anything else for?
No,
I
I'm
was
very
gonna say
excited. I'm just
the
very excited for Superman.
only other thing I think about for DC is you sent me earlier the recasting of Supergirl.
Yes, yeah. I think it's
Um,
rumored she's going to be in Superman.
okay.
Um, I
I
actually, do you
I
have that? I don't
think it's
remember
a
who it
good
is.
casting. I forget her name. It is you
Can I,
sent it
can
to
I
me
get it?
earlier. Or you sent the article.
Millie Alcock.
So she is the girl from House of the Dragon, the new Game of Thrones show. She's
Okay.
she's the main character, or one of the main characters.
So really well liked then.
Really good actress. Yeah, like I think she's gonna do an amazing job. It's so funny that so me and Zach were texting her before we hopped on, and he had sent me the article that they casted her, and I was like, oh, I texted him. I was like, oh, good casting, but it's a bummer they're not bringing back Melissa Benoist or whatever her name was from the Supergirl
Mhm.
CW show. And Zach had texted me along the lines of like, "Oh, I was thinking more of the Supergirl from Flash," and I was like, "I completely forgot Supergirl was in Flash. Like I've like blacked that movie out of my mind.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I really want to rewatch that because
I,
it's so bizarre
it is.
thinking about what that movie does and how poorly some of it is.
I wonder how
And
much
yet,
they paid James Gunn to say that was the best superhero movie. Like that,
oh my
like
God. Oh my
that
God.
movie was all like, and I feel bad because I do love the director, the guy. It's the same guy that made the It movies. Which is a
Yeah.
weird transition from the It movies to that. But I mean, Sam
I
Raimi
mean,
did it.
James Wan does the like all the horror movies and he did
He did
Aquaman.
Aquaman. Yeah, I was
Like,
just saying Sam Raimi did Evil Dead and all those, and then he did Spider Man. So it was, um, but no man, it was yeah, it was
it had a
it
lot of
was not
potential.
not great.
Yeah.
That's I'm at a loss for words out of how
Yeah.
not great it
Yeah.
was.
It also just didn't look good. Like,
And just I feel like I
it
mean,
looked like it was about 10 to
yeah,
15 years old.
yeah, it looked
Like,
like a PS2 like cutscene, like some of the
not
graphics. And just the whole Ezra Miller thing surrounding it just also kind of tainted the movie,
yeah.
and
I
it's just
mean, yeah,
I
not good.
I would have so much rather they bring in the guy from the CW show. He was an amazing Flash, like
It was
bring
so
Grant
good.
Gustin in. Or I mean, we haven't gotten a confirmed Flash for the DC Studios, so I
That
doubt
would
he'll come
be
back for it, but that would be
crazy.
awesome. Yeah,
I don't believe it, but that would be wild.
that would
And
be
I
cool.
love that show. I actually never saw the final season
Yeah,
still.
neither have I. I
I
never
gotta
finished.
watch that
I
at some
think
point.
actually I don't even know. I think I'm on like season. It's the one with the Indian doctor that is trying to cure cancer or whatever.
Oh,
And
and Venom. It's not Venom Venom.
yeah, that one. I never finished that one. I think I was like 3 or 4 episodes into that one.
Oh,
I don't even
yeah.
know what season that is. I think it's like the second to the last or third to
I
last.
think that might be the second to last. So like you
Okay.
might be close. You just have to finish that one.
Yeah. Because that
I
is a great show. I mean, yes,
mm.
there are. It's a CW, so you're not.
CW was great. I
Yeah.
loved the CW. I think
Oh
I
yeah,
think what it did with the budget it had for
yeah.
every show was
No,
awesome.
no, like yeah, it looks cheesy, but you got to remember like it's like people always say like, "Oh, it looks like a CW thing." It's like, yeah, but they have a limited budget. They're not,
Yeah.
they're not Hollywood studios. I mean, I know they're, a Hollywood production, but they don't have as much as Disney like or
No, not at
or
all.
Warner
Like, and that was
Brothers.
that was cable television too. That was never.
Yeah, no, that's not like prime television. That was,
Yeah.
that was what's on the CW? Everybody Hates Chris type, like
Yeah. It's not Rings of Power level budget even.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. They're just doing sitcoms over there. So,
yeah. So
um, yeah. Anything else you got?
no, I think that about does it for me.
Yeah,
A lot of things coming out. I'm excited.
yeah. I mean, things were completely just out of the radar. I mean, one thing we didn't even talk about, which we can mention, I guess, briefly as we're signing off, but I completely forgot about Skeleton Crew coming out. There's the
Oh my
Star
God.
Wars
Yeah, I
show.
still haven't watched Skeleton Crew, which I
There
feel bad
was,
because I've heard good things and it got poor reviews.
I mean, it looks like an entertaining like family show. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't look like it has
Dude,
any
I don't even think I've seen a
overarching.
trailer. Like,
From what I've seen, like in like pictures and marketing on social media, but like the funny thing was, I don't think there was any advertising for it in Disney, and like it was
no.
coming out that week. Like,
Star Wars unfortunately got to a point where they just don't know what's going on. And
yeah,
and they very much got to that like DC level of the Snyderverse where it's
there's too
like,
much going on. Dave Filoni
yeah,
wants to do all the really heavy lore stuff, and the fans just want lightsaber duels, but the nerds like us want, the Force gods or whatever I forget what they're called. The mother, they're
The
the
father,
father,
yeah,
the
I don't
brother,
the
and
father and the son. I forget
yeah,
what the gods. You were, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
All
I didn't see again. I want to watch Skeleton Crew. I haven't. I know nothing.
yeah. No, I just know Jude Law's in it. That's the only
Yeah.
thing I know. But also real quick, sorry, just to one quick tangent on the topic of Ahsoka. You also sent me a while back that they recasted Balin with the guy who plays the Hound in Game of Thrones, which is
Yes.
an amazing casting, amazing.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know
it fits
much
him
about him.
perfectly.
Again, I've seen a little bit of Game of Thrones, but
He is he's going to be a good
intimidating
yes, yeah,
person.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
It
think it's
was
it's a fun casting, and I'm all for it.
yeah. Um, yeah, I think that'll do it for this week's or this episode. We're probably gonna come out with more as more stuff starts coming out because
Captain
uh,
America.
yeah, I mean that'll probably be our next. Spider-Man might be our next
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll
next.
definitely be watching Spider-Man live,
Yeah,
like as it comes out. So
so we'll, we'll
I'm
we'll
game.
probably be covering that. And then we'll be covering all the other Marvel and I mean pretty much just Marvel stuff that's coming out now.
Oh,
So
I guess real quick, I watched What If season three.
oh
Didn't love it.
yes,
I mean, just
yeah,
just real quick blanket statement.
wasn't a big yeah.
Season one is the best. It's great, phenomenal. Season two is good, not great. And season three, I would put borderline, unfortunately, like not good.
Bad,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's a weird season. There's some fun episodes. Like, there's one very good episode, but like, it's just overall not a great season.
Not
And
a
it's
great one.
unfortunate. I loved What If. Again, season one was phenomenal. So whatever. It's not
It
like
it
left
had
infamy or
potential to
anything.
be a great overarching show, but I feel like they just. I mean, I haven't watched season three, so I can't say anything concrete. But from what I've heard and what you've said, it sounded pretty crappy.
Yeah, it just wasn't great. But it's all good. Is what it
Yeah,
is.
can't win them all. Win
Yep.
some, win some, lose most.
There it is.
There it is. But all right, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Later.
Peace.